Now I got to give permissions. Got it. We're connecting.
You are connected.
We're connecting. We're all connected.
And
we are live. Oops, I have to mute this. Hold on. Forgot how to do that. Here we go. Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody. I'm Tamara. Welcome to the Pool Party Podcast. Today we have BrotherSage on, and this is very, very exciting. He is the OG of urine therapy and a mentor of mine, somebody who I studied. I've only been practicing for a year, and I've been studying him the whole time. So your books are amazing, inspiring, and I can't wait for you to share all your knowledge with everybody. BrotherSage, welcome.
Thank you, Tamara. Thank you for having me. It's always a joy to be in your presence and to send some good light and energy out to the viewers.
Awesome. And I just want to say welcome to everybody on our YouTube Live. Thank you for watching. So the first part of the interview, we're going to let BrotherSage throw down some awesome information on this magical practice. And then we're going to go through maybe some questions at the end from any of the YouTube Live people. And I do have some other questions from the Shivambhu group that are actually it's the Golden Girls group. No boys allowed in that one. But they're wondering about the Oramus questions. So we'll get to that at the end.
Of course.
Yeah. So, okay. So BrotherSage, you are an author, you're an educator, you're a practitioner, you are a Reiki master, you are energy worker, you're a massage therapist, like all these things. Will you just introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
I'm BrotherSage and I do all that. And and I'm a big advocate for Shivambhu at the moment. And I work locally with communities and groups and organizations, nationally, internationally, either with conference calls, training calls. We put together retreats in various parts of the United States right now, from California to Portland. And we're helping people to network in this community. So the worldwide water family is a family.
Yes. Awesome. So those of you who don't maybe know what water family means, maybe you could explain that just a little bit.
The best way to explain anything is with a live demonstration.
Right on.
Shall we jump into a prayer while we're here?
Let's do it.
Okay. It's a caller response, Heidi. Excuse me, tomorrow. And
okay.
since you and I are the only it here, I'll be the caller. And
I'm the responder.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're familiar with kirtan?
I'm not.
Chanting devotional mantras?
I mean, yeah. Chanting.
Okay, here goes.
Okay.
And for you people out there, either grab your glass or something that symbolizes, like a gesture, that you have your sacred water. Here we go. I take this water of life.
I take this water of life.
I declare it the water of light.
I declare it the water of light.
As I bring this water within this body.
As I bring this water within this body.
It allows me to glow.
It allows me to glow.
I take this water of light.
I take this water of light.
I declare it the water of God.
I declare it the water of God.
I am the master of all I do and all that I am.
I am the master of all that I do and all that I am.
So be it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Nostrovia.
Prost, shalom.
Chin chin.
So what we're looking at is the nectar of immortality. You guys familiar with Ponce de Leon? The guy came from Spain. He took his ship and his guys and he went over to Florida looking for the fountain of youth. Went home disappointed. You know why? Because the secret of the youth is within us. It's in our water. It comes encoded with information and energy and a frequency that knows what divine perfect cells are made out of. And it'll go to work for you. The moment you put it back in your body, your water is working for it to help you restore your health.
That's so awesome. I told you guys this was going to be good. Look at how this starts. This is so fantastic. Hey, we forgot to mention the barefoot thing.
Oh, the barefoot thing. Are we going to do that now?
Yeah.
Okay. This is going to connect everybody virtually through the screen.
Yeah.
By the way, body workers and chefs always have a towel around. All right, everybody, can you show us your feet?
I have a dress on, but I'll be.
I don't care. All right, here's what you guys are going to do. Start off, tell me if this is backwards. Forwards?
Nope, it's forward. You're good.
All right, everybody take 2 or 3 deep breaths. And while you're breathing, slowly, gently, lovingly, shuffle your feet on the rug, the floor, if you're outside on the grass, and start to build up a little friction between your feet and the surface below your feet. Take another breath. As that energy starts to rise and radiate from up into your body, I want you to either mentally or physically put your hands out and send light and blessings to everyone, include yourself.
Oh, that's so good.
All right, we're one again.
I love that. Such a fun, I know, ritual. And the first time I ever talked to BrotherSage, you guys, he said, very first thing, he's like, are you barefoot? I was like, hi, I'm tomorrow. And I was like, as a matter of fact, I'm always barefoot. He's like, right on, sister.
You got it. Nailed it.
Yeah, that was good. So, all right. Well, oh my gosh, we have so much to cover. And you are such a wealth of information. Like, I kind of want to just like let you go. And I know you have, is it the 5 pillars? Did you call it the 5 pillars?
Now, when you bring up the pillars, are you referring to the wisdoms or the 4 pillars or cornerstones of health? About the wisdoms.
I think the wisdoms. What did we go through on our first conversation?
Well, the other pillars is the holistic health model of healing yourself. The other things, which you use the word pillars, I would call the Shivambhu, the key points.
Yes, that's it.
All right.
That's exactly it. So is it 5 or is it 4? I can't remember.
There may be 6. I get more downloads. It's like
right on.
All right, number 1.
Okay.
Shall we begin?
We shall begin. Okay, you guys, grab your notebooks and write this stuff down because this is important information you are going to want to know. Okay.
Guys, tomorrow we'll not be typing this in the chat feed, so you're going to have to be in real time.
That's right.
All right, number 1. Shivambhu is an intuitive medicine. Now let's get people really clear on words we use because the English language has been confusing us for generations. Shivambhu means either the water of Shiva, the creator of the universe according to the Hindus, or it means the blood of the Lord. And in our world and in our terms, it means blood plasma. So number 1, Shivambhu is an intuitive medicine. What that means is your water comes with a guidance system. It's hardwired to your intuition. So when it tells you drink everything because every drop is precious and sterile and amazing, you'll do that. If it tells you to fast, if it tells you to do an or an enema, get in the habit, guys, of listening inwardly. Because after a while, you won't have to call up BrotherSage or tomorrow and say, what do I do about this and what do I do about that? And they know this, but your job is to guide them back to knowing it.
Right.
All right, number 2, Shivambhu alchemizes, thank you for the count. Shivambhu alchemizes anything it touches, which means it's going to sterilize it, it's going to neutralize it, and it's going to raise its vibration. A good example is when people say, well, what if I have gum disease, something going on with my teeth, my tongue, bad breath? I said, well, you're going to gargle, swoosh. And they said, well, what about the bad breath, the bad bacteria? After I clean out my mouth, shouldn't I spit it out? I said, wait a minute, did you hear what you just said? It alchemizes everything, which means that so-called bad germ has been neutralized and it has been merged with the Shivambhu. Drink it. It's the same thing tomorrow. And people say, well, I don't want to bathe in city water because city water has chlorine and fluoride and all that chemical stuff, right? I said, listen, pee in your bath. Everybody does it. They won't admit it. She does it. I do it. Pee in your bath and you're going to neutralize it and alchemize the bath water.
Yep. Beautiful. Because it's structured too, right? I mean,
it's structured. And if you look at under a powerful magnifying glass, and there's some pictures going around Instagram, Fiona Gardner out there in California, she's got a microscope and she's been taking these. Well, when you zoom out on it, it's crystals.
Okay.
It's different shapes of crystals. So yeah, it's structured.
Okay, so some other lady, I think in Australia, I can't remember her name. She's been freezing water and then finding images in the frozen whatever. Has anybody done that with Shivambhu yet?
Other than her, the lady who
Yeah.
she wrote a book, Veda Austin.
Yeah, beta. Yeah.
Yeah, we had an interview. So
Oh,
it was
really?
yes. So I think she might be the only one that I'm aware
Okay. Maybe did you ask her if she would use urine to do it, or has she?
of. Good question. Good question. I don't want to say for sure.
Okay.
But if you want to connect with her, let me know.
Okay, yes, I do definitely want to connect with her. I don't know, you guys, you've seen maybe some of the Emoto images, and her, like this Veda woman, her images, like there's actual like imagery, not just sacred geometry, right? Like there's like pictures inside like this water that's frozen in time. It's just bizarre and it's amazing. Yeah, she's
Yes. Now, Emoto wrote the book Messages in Water, and he put words, positive words, and negative words on the water, and
yep.
took a picture to see how it affected the water. Well, I asked Veda, and I asked everyone in the water family, why don't we do this? Get your Shivambu, put good words on one and negative
Mm-hmm.
words, and see if you can film it.
Yeah, right. Who's got some equipment out there? Let's do it. So cool. Number three, pillar number
Now,
three.
thanks for keeping me on track. Number three, you're gonna love this one. Each one gets a little bit better. After this one comes evolving urine,
Yep. Okay.
saturation dosing, why urine doesn't heal everybody. Ooh, that's a fun one.
That's a fun one.
And let's go with number three.
Okay.
Number three, Shivambu works regardless of your considerations of it. So you guys can have any limited thoughts you want, and you can have negative association you want. I'm going to give you some of the examples. So let's see how calm you stay and how comfortable you are with the subject matter. Guys can drink girls' urine. Adults can drink children's urine. Seniors can drink young people. Young people can drink seniors. Pet owners can drink their pets. The pets can drink the pet owners. And we're not species specific either.
Right. Okay. So I think this is where some people are going. You had me at the first two, and now you've maybe gone too far.
There's such a thing, yes.
I know, right? Well, I mean, when I first started my journey, BrotherSage, I had so much cognitive dissonance. I thought my friend Nick, I always bring up Nick, poor Nick. I'm like, Nick is gross. And I'm like, he drinks his urine. I don't know. He's the carnivore guy that we were talking about before
Yes.
we recorded. And I was like, I'll never do that. I'm like, I'm a biohacker. Like I do all these experiments. I'll never do that. So, I mean, I had it with just hearing about it. Right. So now we're like all the way.
Going there.
We've come a long way, baby.
Yeah, and I got examples that'll rock the show.
Yeah, let's do it. Just go.
All right, everybody's heard about the guys in India that drinking cow urine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's YouTubes going around where a guy's sitting behind the cow with the cow's tail up, and the cow's going to the bathroom, and he's bathing himself and drinking.
Oh my God.
It's a cultural thing, right?
Yeah.
You got to get it. They even go for, in Pakistan, camel urine.
Oh, sure. Okay.
In some countries, goat. There was one woman going around YouTube for the last 5 or 6 years. She drank her dog's urine.
Wow. Wow.
Now, to test this theory out, myself and Doc Mike Whittort, and I want to talk a little bit about him in just a little bit.
Okay.
We've been teaching people to drink their students, their clients' urine, to prove to them it's not only a universal panacea, but it gives your immune system a second immune system.
Right.
Right? So you've got amplification and enhancement of the immunity, the antibodies, the stem cells, everything that gets brought together. So what he said, he suggested that to me, so I started doing that. I drank one of my students, unbeknownst to him. You know, he brings it, we have 25, I've been hanging around these 20-something-year-olds, and he brought his urine. I said, is that what I think it is? He said, yeah. I said, do you mind if I have some? He said, yeah, go right ahead. I said, this would be great, thank you. How old are you, 25? Oh, youth juice, I love it.
It's so awesome.
So I started doing that, and then when we did the retreat, 7 out of 12 attendees switched and tried each other's.
Wow.
So I've got the immunity of about 12 people right now.
That's so amazing. So amazing.
Now, pet owners, I don't want pet owners to pay attention here. He said,
Mhm.
what do I do about my dog? Can I use urine therapy on my dog? I said, it's universal panacea. So what pet owners have been doing is putting it on their coat, putting in their water, their food, whatever can, massaging their bodies and watching the pet's health turn around. Didn't matter if it was a dog or a parakeet.
Wow.
So
Crazy. I had a friend that just came. Oh, let me just
you're on.
Yeah, just a second. So I had a friend that just came back from Singapore, and she said, "I swear to God," because I brought up urine therapy with her. I was kind of treading, around a little bit. I'm like, so there's this other thing that I've been doing. It's always such an interesting, conversation when you bring things up for the first time with somebody who's a high school friend of mine. So I'm like, I don't know where this is going to go, but let's try it. Anyway, she came back from Singapore recently, and she said that on the street you can buy bird urine in a little vial.
Okay.
And she's like, everybody is just buying them left and right, and they'll just be like, doop, and then just down it, and I'm like,
oh,
what? A bird urine? Like what? Excuse me.
I want to know how they collect it.
Me too. I'm like, I used to have a bird, and I don't ever remember seeing it pee. I'd see it poop, but I don't see it pee. I don't know.
Yeah.
So she's supposed to report back to me, but I thought that was interesting. I don't know. Do you know anything about that?
No, but I had a friend of mine. She went to India to hang out with Elatom Elamine, the breatharian. I don't know if you heard about him,
Oh no.
but that was a shout out to Elatom.
Okay.
And she decided, since I'm big into this subject, to bring me some what's called gomutra, which is the Indian word for cow urine.
Okay.
So she brought it. It was about a 8-ounce jar. She got it through airport just fine. And I'm going, oh, this will be really fun. I open it up, take a nice little inhale, slow inhale, and go, whoa, that smells like the barn. The floor of the barn. This is like barn animal poop. And so I said, you know what? I'm the pee guru.
Yeah,
Nothing
right.
could hurt me. Let's go for it. So I drank it and go, it tastes like a barn.
Oh, it's so gross.
So the rest of it I used topically, and the rest I put in my plants.
Oh, okay.
Because I wasn't going to go for the drinking part. I'm really clear. I like human
Oh have you seen the documentary, that Urine Aid documentary?
Yeah, Stephen Williams.
Okay, so when the guy, like toward the end, when the guy's like in the barn with all the cows and they're trying to collect the urine from the cows, right? And then it's a long hallway. I swear to God, BrotherSage, it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And he's got his bucket and he runs down, and the cow's like peeing, and he misses it, and he's like, oh. And then another cow starts peeing, so he runs back down the other way, and then he's like, oh, he misses it. And then they show like how they press it into like pills, and then they sell pills or whatever. So is that like, does it change the magical property of it when you take it from, like, I don't know, like in its whole form, right? In its cow urine, and then condense it down into these pressed multivitamins that they sell? Like,
are they tablets?
Yeah.
Tomorrow? Are they tablets?
Yeah.
My only concern now, I was in the nutrition industry for 30 years, so I know the ins and outs of that stuff. If, like when you make raw juices, if you're heating it, the pressure creates heat and friction, you might damage the enzymes.
Yeah, that's what that's what my intuition was saying. I was like, I don't know. I think we all maybe better just get on board with like something like you do and just drink it.
Well, while we're on this stretch the mind moment here, I have to tell you about this incredible exchange program that's going on planet Earth. It's called the Shivambhu Exchange Program.
Really?
And Doc Mike started it. He had me write up the report, write up the announcement of it. It's on the Shivambhu hut. Okay. And what you're simply going to do is you're going to take either a cotton pad or a square, I mean, he calls them wafers, a square gauze pad that you would use over a wound, right?
Okay.
All right, soak it with the urine, let it dry out, stick it in a Post-it or some piece of paper, mail it to a friend, have them put it in water. Now, we talk about pee a lot, you and I, so this would be a pee bag, not a tea bag.
I was just going to say, I know he's going for a tea bag in this.
Like minds think it's the same. So you put in your water and let it rehydrate, and you can use it 2 or 3 times internally or externally. And people have been writing back to him saying, I can feel the difference. I'm getting results from it.
No way. That
And right now the exchange program is totally free. Nobody's monetizing it.
that is amazing. Okay, so if anybody's just joining and they've never heard of urine therapy and we're already here.
We're already at this point.
Oh my God. Okay, let's go to number 4.
Number 4. Oh, by the way, send me yours.
Okay.
You have my address?
I
I'm serious. This is
yeah,
one of the
no,
things I'm serious about.
I will. I don't think I have your oh, you know what? Your address is on your website.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're at number 4?
Yes, we're at number 4.
You got to talk about this a lot to be able to have the memory to. I've taught 11 of these training courses.
Oh my God.
And,
That's
and,
amazing.
and here's the textbook for the class. If anybody wants to take the urine therapy training class.
Oh, I'm
You're right there with Shivan.
well, I was gonna say I'm on my second round now. And I'm watching your YouTube videos with it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Which are great, by the way. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So number 4 is now our human language has been very limiting and restricting to our fullness and of our potential of who we are as a being, or a living man and a living woman. Mm-hmm. So the term aged and aging seems to be polarizing and having people pull back on drinking and applying it, because when they hear the word age, they think of a person getting older, they're losing their power, they're getting weak, they might be dead any time now. So you know how people associate things and they form a story about it.
Totally.
Woo! So I changed that in 3 books earlier to the term evolving or evolutionary.
I love it.
Because the moment it comes out of your urethra bladder and you collect it, it's already begun to increase in stem cells and potency and everything.
Okay, so yeah, explain to people like what you're talking about, because I think maybe people aren't understanding. So there's fresh and there's evolving.
There's 2 forms of urine in the liquid form that you can use medicinally. And one is fresh collected, like you go pee and you collect it, that's fresh. We consider anything within the day considered fresh. Mm-hmm. And anything that's more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days and so on is considered evolving, or what they used to call aging urine. Some people call it maturing urine.
Okay. I like evolving. I think that's the right action.
I do too, and it also reminds you that you're constantly learning, evolving, growing, and so forth.
Totally. Okay, so I've also read that some people don't classify it as evolving until day 4. There's like all these rules, right? Like, I love that because like
we don't do dogma.
I know I don't do dogma either, and I'm like,
not in this work.
People ask me stuff like that all the time. I'm like, well, when I first started reading about this, it seemed like Martha Christie's got some pretty rules and all these people have rules. And I personally do not like rules. So this is like the best, the best therapy for me as a contrarian. But I'm just like fascinated by how, these parameters that you have, and then you just throw them all out. You're just like, there are no rules. And I'm like, I knew I liked you.
It's an intuitive medicine. Let's do some myth busting right now.
Okay.
Since we're all whistleblowers and bringing the truth about everything.
Okay.
All right. So it doesn't have to be at any particular age to be considered measured as evolving urine. That 4-day time period came to us from John W. Armstrong in the Water of Life book in 1944. He actually started teaching and healing people in the 20s.
Right.
By the way, if you go back another 7 years before the 1920s, I can tell you the year that they started demonizing and selling propaganda about urine therapy, because it was known in the United States, it was known throughout the world.
Mm-hmm. That's so important to know that. I mean, we're just remembering this information, right? I mean, this is nothing new, you guys. This is ancient.
Right. So let's go back to John W. Armstrong. He comes up with a period of 4 days. So that's the things that people read in the book are here from their health gurus. They tend to go lock on it. Oh, that must be so. Mm-hmm. But in this water and in this work, it's all intuitive. It's not dogmatic. So if you decide to cover your orange jar or not cover it, it's not going to hurt it.
Okay.
All right. So it was people like Some say 4 days. That was Dr. Armstrong. He wasn't a doctor, by the way. He was a naturopath.
Right.
Dr. Rosalind Hanson, who I met at the Water of Life Convention in Las Vegas in 2018. She's a gal who's been drinking her orange since she was 9 years old. I met her. She was 49. I trust her knowledge. She says evolving Orin doesn't. Hanson, Hanson.
Thank you.
Dr. Rosalind Hanson, I'll connect you with her.
Thank you so much.
I'm not sure if she's in the Carolinas or the Dakotas or Georgia.
How old is she?
I met her, she's 49. She must be 51, 52 now.
Oh, okay.
Of course, we don't age.
Yeah.
So.
How young is she?
Yeah, how many cycles around the world?
Right.
So she says 9 months because she associates it with gestation and the birth cycle.
Right.
Right. And then you're not going to be able to get a perfect measurement of, oh yeah, I got 3 more days. It's not evolved yet.
It does seem silly when you, look at it from that lens, right?
Right. And when you need it that day, you need a foot soak, you need to get an enema, you need it in your eyes, your ears, you've been bitten and bugged and sunburned and scratched. You're not going to go, well, shit, I'm out of luck. I got to wait. No, you're Johnny on the spot. You're grabbing and using it.
Totally. I just healed a sunburnt lip from it. With it, is what I meant to say. But I know like it healed it a lot faster because it was bad. It was like, I was like embarrassed to like kind of go out in public with it. It was so bad. And every time I made water, it was on that lip. 3 days later, it sloughed off and it was gross, but
yeah. And that was the time it took you.
Yeah. Right.
And you viewers got to listen to this because people will contact tomorrow or they'll contact me or all your favorite teachers and go, how long does it take to heal this, that, and the other thing? Mm-hmm. I'm going, well, it all depends. It all depends on your diet and your exercise and your state of mind and, what you're doing.
And your belief about it, is that another?
Your belief combined with your faith.
Okay.
Is the power that makes it work. I was going to go to number 5.
Five. Yeah. I was going to bring us there. You've lost faith in me.
There's 5, 6. There's going to be 7, I think.
Okay.
All right. Number 5 is saturation dosing. Now, this is a key point because a lot of people will say, well, I'm drinking my Urine. That's all I need to do. Everything's going to be peachy keen. I'm going, that's just barely touching the surface. Mm-hmm. If you're just drinking it and you're not cleaning things out of your intestines, your lymphatics, your liver, your skin, and so forth, then you still got a ways to go. And then that you're just treating it like a Band-Aid. You're going to have hit or miss, whether it's good days and bad days.
Okay.
All right. So what people have to do is they have to do a thorough diet and lifestyle change. The way to make this last, now, by the way, once you get into this, you're not going to go away from it. This is not going to be a been there, done it, guys. So if you jump on this path, you're in it for the long haul.
It's true. Yeah, I'll never not stop. This is my lifestyle now. And I never even thought like just trying it from listening to an Amanda Vollmer podcast, like that I would be sitting here having my own podcast about it. Like, it's just the trippiest like path I've ever been on. And people say like, well, how long have you been doing it? And how long are you going to do it for? And whatever. And I'm like, this is my life.
This is what I do. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I do. It's been such an incredible ride. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I have videos that are on YouTube that if you guys want to know a little bit more of my story, you can go check them out. It's under my series, 100 Reasons You Should Drink Your Pee. But we're here to learn from BrotherSage. So I digress.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've been known to do that too. So it's nice to keep each other on track.
Yeah.
I'm holding you accountable. Let's get this. Yeah.
Thank you.
The saturation dosing is the prevention and the cure of all forms of illness and a compromised immune system. And I preached that hard during the so-called COVID illusion period that we went to for the last 2 years. I said, listen, you got to get ahead of it. And then if it starts to build up, you got to get on it. Mm-hmm. So get into drinking and as many protocols as you can. You guys know protocols. There are protocols and there are protocols. And some protocols, all these protocols are in the book.
Oh yeah.
Goggles are cool. They hold a lot better than the eye cup.
Oh, totally. And you can sit longer with them.
Oh, you can
and
sit.
listen, and then listen to your favorite podcast.
You can't see it, yeah, because it's only audio anyway.
Yeah.
So get in the habit of doing saturation dosing. Get in the habit. Now, the major ones you want to get, and this is in the books, of how to create what's called a general treatment suggestions. By the way, we are not doctors, guys.
Yes, thank you.
Here's a disclaimer in case we didn't throw one out to you. Don't make promises or claims. The body heals itself when it's given the proper nutrition and those nutrients are absorbed. So please don't set yourself up. Someone says, is it good for diabetes? Is it good for multiple sclerosis? Is it good for Alzheimer's and autism? Is it good for da-da-da? The best answer, which will not get you in trouble, is this. I don't know about that. All I know is when I drink it, I feel better. That's the layman's 5th grade answer.
Yeah.
So you want to get into all these protocols because you're going to build a lifestyle that's going to not only change your life, but it's going to calm your emotions, clear your mind, give you a strength that you're going to feel like Superwoman, Superman.
It's true. And it's like, what, I mean, we don't have to go there right now because I know I don't want to get off track, but what is it about the inner peace thing? Because I've read about it and then I experienced it and I'm like, what the hell? Like, why is this working? I don't understand. Like, was it a placebo? Was it in my mind? But, humor us with maybe what you think.
Well, it's actually in your bladder, but yes. And by the way, please remind me, I'm going to give the viewers, the metaphysical definition of urethra. I told you, we got surprises, girl.
I'm like, what's he talking about? Oh, shit.
All right, ask me another question. Another question. I flipped gears on you.
Oh, the peace and happiness. Like, what is that?
Oh, okay. Yeah. You can approach it spiritually, vibrationally, or nutritionally.
Oh, okay.
Okay. When you look at the list of ingredients in the Shivambhu, by the way, we got to give kudos to NASA. In 1970, they put out a list of 3,000 components, substrates, and compounds that are found in urine. NASA, who knew?
Yeah, and it's 3,000 plus.
It's up to 4,000.
Yeah.
And I think Dr. Group also confirmed that.
Really? Okay. Is that recent or is that something he's done?
I'd say in the last 2 years.
Okay.
All right. So if you look at the ingredient list, what's good for relaxing and calming the body? Magnesium, melatonin, serotonin, DHEA, B vitamins, magnesium I already mentioned. All these things are known. There's amino acids in there. There's all kinds of things, enzymes. It's known to calm the nervous system, help the adrenal glands. We're on adrenal gland information and energy overload. So wouldn't it be nice to be calm while everyone else is trying to figure their way around everything?
Absolutely.
And when you sniff it up your nose, guys, I hope you'll get into this. You're going to get through this area, the soft little membrane here called the blood-brain barrier. All right. Now, there's a difference between bringing urine up the upper part of the brain versus taking it down the throat and into the lower part, because if you're swallowing it, it takes a lot longer to get up here. All right. You also have, most people have dehydrated sinus cavities. These 5 cavities all through here. So you're not only going to rehydrate this, but you're going to, guess what you're going to do to the pineal gland?
Decalcify it.
Bring it online for better visions and understanding and wisdom. Yes.
Right on. Okay, so when I'm nose drinking, I tip my head upside down and I hold it. Does that help? I mean, that's what I've read about permeation.
You could do that. Some people have been known to stand on their head, do a headstand and drink, pour it up. It's whatever it takes. I got my head every morning. I've got this in the medicine cabinet. All right. So I have some collected from the night before. So first thing in the morning, I can put it in my hand and wake myself up and start doing eyes and face, et cetera, et cetera. And so my head's tipped over.
Okay.
Right. Now, if you look up the work of Samuel Cohen, he wrote the book, Drinking Through the Nose.
Okay. I haven't read that.
He has it available on Amazon as an ebook. It's called Drinking Through the Nose.
Okay.
He learned it from his spiritual teacher, Kelly Raw, who figured it out while he was in England. And so he teaches you how to drink it with a glass or a water bottle, up one nostril or another, how to hold it in your mouth. He has some interesting yoga he does around his head so he can hold it with that one hand and do a mudra. I don't know. So he's got a lovely. He's been teaching this. I mean, he was one of my influences.
Wow. I've not heard of that book. That's fascinating. Okay, I'll have to get that. And
Okay.
once you start consuming this, you guys, like you literally start consuming all the information everywhere. And you're like, oh my God, this information is literally everywhere. How come we didn't know this? Right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so fascinating.
And if you're like a lot of people in the water family, you just keep reading more content. You just keep watching more videos. You're going, if this is what I know now, what else can I know?
I know.
And I've been at this since 1994, 30
Okay.
years. You said 20 earlier.
Oh, 30. Okay. My bad.
1994, when I got a direct, well, it was secondhand invitation from Shiva to drink my water.
That was your second invitation?
No.
Oh,
Two books. My two books during 1994. One was my Bible, and that's called The Golden Fountain by Cohen Vanderkroon.
oh, kind of cool. Yep.
He's out in Holland. And I read it and I saw it and I'm going, that's fascinating. It just like, it didn't quite click. And then I read The Secrets of Youthing by Leonard Orr, which is revised. I revised the book in 2022. And he talks all about it. And I know that he's a devotee of Shiva, who some people call Babaji.
Okay.
And I've been a devotee of Babaji all these years. And he says, no, this is Shiva. Shiva says you should drink your water. I said, it's good enough for me. And I didn't have an illness. It's like I had a spiritual connection that's locked it in for me.
Wow. That's so incredible. So have you been are you vegan or vegetarian? I can't remember. You're raw.
85% fruit.
Fruit. So fruitarian, is that what you call?
To be honest with you, I could take it or leave it. I mean, food, I'm at a point where it's a game.
Yeah.
I don't eat for nutrition anymore. I don't buy nutritional supplements anymore. It's like, what would be fun to, I mean, enlightened parents start asking their kids, not what would you like to eat, what would taste good to you right now.
Write that down, you guys. What
it's
would
a
taste
new approach for parenting.
I love that. I'm going to write that down.
You have kids?
Yeah, I have 4 and 2 stepsons.
Ask them what would taste good to them right now. And I bet you a high percentage would say fruit.
You know what? Actually, Thaddeus's younger son always is hungry for fruit. He likes meat and fruit.
There you go. We should hang out with Nick.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't know if Nick has put any fruit into his diet. Okay, what would taste good for you? Okay, are we on number 5?
We're number 5.
Okay, and that's saturation dosing.
That was number 4. Or maybe that was number 5.
No, I think it was number 5.
We're going to keep going.
We were talking about, we were talking about nose drinking.
Or nose drinking, that's not in the list.
It's a subcategory under saturation dosing, right?
Right. So the next one is Shivambhu heals some people and it doesn't heal everybody. And why is that? Why is it people will have a drink of their Shivambhu or put some on their body and call up the person who introduced it to them a day or two later and go, it didn't work?
Because they don't have faith that it's going to work.
Well, there's the mental construct, right? There's what's going on between the ears.
Okay.
And then there's the fact they don't change anything else in their life.
Oh, sure. Okay.
So the people who still want to do drugs, drink alcohol, smoke cigarettes, eat meat, potatoes, fried food, starchy foods, mucus forming foods, blah, 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 it's going to take a while for you to get better.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that's that. All right, the next category is the only thing you cannot heal is what you say you cannot heal.
Right.
This is out of Course in Miracles. The only thing you cannot heal is what you believe you cannot heal. There is no such thing as incurable diseases. The word disease means dis-ease. Your lack of ease, your emotional body and your mental health is out of balance. You got that part? The word incurable, take the word and divide the word apart. It means incurable.
Incurable. So like it's inside where the cure is hiding.
And you're able to heal yourself.
And you're able to do it. Yeah. So your belief system.
All right, very last one, and then we're gonna we're going to go in whatever direction you want to
go. Okay. I'm just looking at the chat really quick too.
Well, how come you get to see it and I don't?
Yeah, because I'm the host, BrotherSage.
The hostess or the mostest.
It was like a little sister answer. I am a bratty little sister.
I love it. And the people in your life that you get to play with and tease, they're the good friends.
Right. Yeah, my husband loves it. No. Okay.
I already like him.
Okay, let's do number. I'm gonna not get distracted by that because this is still a podcast. So number 7.
All right, number 7, or the very last one on the list, is Shivambhu is in a category all unto itself. Mm-hmm. It's like trying to describe infinity to mortals. Trying to describe infinity to people who have limited perceptions of what's possible in reality.
Wow.
And because it doesn't quite meet all those descriptions, people try to get as close as they can to grok it and understand it. And the people who've been at it for years and years and years starts to make more sense and more sense and more sense.
Beautiful. I actually said that to somebody the other day. I'm like, you guys, it's in a category all on its own. Thank you.
Oh, by the way, guys who are watching this, I own the copyright on this slogan.
Nice.
The milk industry used to say, you know what does a body good, but they changed their campaign in 2003, and so their copyright expired, and I grabbed it, and this is the new slogan.
Really? Is it like for real?
Yeah, it's for real. So you guys are welcome to steal the idea and print it on everything.
Oh my God, that's so awesome. Do you have those on your website?
No, I'm not marking them yet. The other thing that I'm copyrighted, you're welcome to use this one.
Oh my God, you're so funny.
I mean, there's nothing like putting urine therapy movement along with a marketing expert. You can come up with all kinds of cool stuff.
Seriously, and you're like genius at this stuff. Here's what I love about you and like your approach to urine therapy, because I mean, again, I've read a lot, I've watched a lot. You have such a playful, like childlike, youthful, yet knowledgeable, right? I mean, you know your shit. We know you're the OG, and you still have fun. You take it so lightly, because like if you can't take, life, if you take life too seriously, like forget it, right? I mean, that's beyond the point. But I just love how you're constantly coming up with like peace slogans and just being like silly, goofy. And it's just so refreshing. So thank you for.
Well, it's a joy to pee myself in your presence, and you and I are rocking in the pee world. So we got to keep my drug of choice, by the way, in case anybody's watch this, start leaning forward. Well, he's on drugs. What is my drug of choice is creative flow.
Yeah.
And when you're in the creative energy, you can just make things happen all day long. You produce something and then you're done, but your creative juices are still on fire. Everything's, firing on all cylinders. That's my drug of choice.
And then you can't sleep because you're just like that.
You're working on the next thing.
I love that. And you're an artist too. So you do, you make drawings, paintings, all kinds of stuff. So you're just like letting all the creative juices flow.
Yes. And I'm maintaining celibacy as a single man.
Oh, really? All
yes.
Right.
It's an advanced course.
Is that like, do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So
I got nothing to hide.
Like, is that like a monastic practice, or is it like what's the sexual, is it tantra?
Well, Tantra is a yoga.
Yeah. But it's like, but this, the retention thing too, like semen ejaculation retention.
Oh, I loved it when those guys were going all crazy about, you got to practice semen retention. I said, it's real simple. Stop playing with yourself. I mean, how difficult is that? Semen retention. Stop getting fantasies about the ladies, guys. It's easy.
And then you're going to be so creative because you're not like, right? Isn't that the idea?
Yeah, and you connect with people so much deeper and so much easier than, see, the trouble I had was I was sexually addicted like most people were coming into the United States and growing up or wherever they were on the planet. Right. And so what you have is this unconscious sexual overlay over someone. It's like you've already imprinted you're like a predator. You've
Yeah.
got to and you don't see who they are because you see them as a sexual person.
Oh, I love that. Is there a book in there for like young men?
It may be, but I've got 4 other books that are on hold.
I know, right? You're like, no. Oh
That's
my
not on the
gosh.
list yet.
Oh, this is so good. So good. So are there any other reasons that I mean, it's like spiritual practice, basically, right? And
Well, yeah, it's a spiritual practice. It's an anatomical practice, and you relate differently to the creator, and you relate differently to people.
hmm, interesting.
And my work is about oneness, love, and unity. I'm also a student of A Course in Miracles, and A Course in Miracles teaches you that special relationships, I'll put in air quotes, special relationships are of the ego because you zoom in on one person, then you stop loving everyone around you.
Hmm.
And it's not talking about commitment or polyamory or anything. It's about
Yeah.
special relationships. And then the ego plays that game.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, man.
I have a lot of beloveds on this planet. There's a lot of gals I'm in love with. Oh,
Well, I know, and but you do you emit a lot of love in every direction, and it
it's a bubble.
takes, but that takes energy, like that. I can see that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
you're not limited.
right. Wow.
The only trick is that's the reason why we go barefoot is because you feel ascension energy going on all day long. Ground it down, eat some bananas, have a coconut.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna just pop over here super quick because we do have a few questions for you, Brother Sage. And so that was our 7, right? Okay. Does it matter? One person's asking, does it matter if you put it in the fridge?
No.
Okay.
It also doesn't matter if you're doing a foot soak or an enema and you decide to heat it up with some hot, warmer water because you don't want the initial shock when you put your feet in cold Shivambhu.
Okay.
And some people who do enemas, it's a shock when you put it in the rectum, so they add hot water.
Okay. Distilled water, or does it not matter?
Well, there's the optimum way would be distilled water.
Okay.
But when you don't have time to go to the stove and you're in the bathroom anyway, and you've set up all your assembly and you're on the floor, you just tap water.
Okay. Do you drink, as my own question, do you drink distilled water or do you drink water at all?
I drink distilled water. I drink vegetable juices, fruit juices.
And did you say vegetable?
Vegetable juices, fruit juices, and my new exciting superfood of the year is raw living spirulina.
Yes, you sent me a picture of that. It's like that paste. I was like, oh
it's
my
like a paste, and it doesn't smell fishy or taste like the sea.
Oh.
And it's a soft curry. It tastes like green cottage cheese.
Okay, did I ask you this? But do they ship that?
Well, there's 3 producers in the United States.
Okay.
Colorado, Lyons, Colorado, Brooklyn, New York, Vero Beach, Florida. They ship.
Okay.
And it's 2-day air. You get it. They put it in a box, styrofoam box with freeze packs.
So what do you call it? What's the
raw living spirulina?
Raw living spirulina. Okay.
Now, all the spirulina up at this point has been dried into powder, which means they heated it.
I know.
And it always tasted
nasty.
Yeah.
I just put some in a smoothie yesterday, and we've got this, raw, organic, whatever spirulina, and I'm like, ooh, I'll put some in there. And then I'm like, oh my God, I just wrecked my whole smoothie. This sucks. Because we have fresh blackberries right now and black caps, and that's all I've been like putting in my smoothies. And I'm like, I want to taste them. Yeah. And then I was like, I'm never using that stupid spirulina again in my smoothie.
Good.
Yeah. It's like you have to like stir it in your distilled water and then like slam it and then chase it with something like maybe urine, but so it tastes better, right? Okay. And then let's see.
Next question.
Yeah. Does it matter if you put it in the fridge? No. So can it evolve in the fridge or if you leave it out?
It'll evolve anywhere except the freezer.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah, because you're gonna suspend it.
Right.
And I've never put it in the freezer, but I did make the mistake of putting about eight quart jars in my garage. I'm at a friend's. I'm renting here. I
Okay.
left it in the garage during the wintertime, and I went in to check on it, and all the bottles had broken. So I learned two important things: put it in a ice chest, and number two, don't fill it all the way to the lid.
Yes, we know that because we store some milk products that way. Yeah.
You
And
learn that one.
and well, and bone broth and things when they freeze, like remember back in school, when it freezes, it expands. Oh, that.
Duh. Yeah.
Okay, so we got that one, evolving room temperature. Oh, somebody wants to know how old you are. Actually, it's my friend Jeremy Hill. He's amazing.
Hi, Jeremy. Yeah. Take a guess.
Let's see what he says.
Take a guess.
I don't know if he's still on. Hold on. When you
I used to avoid this question and say, "Well, I'm ageless. What difference does it make?"
I knew you were going to say something sassy.
I would have, but I'm 68.
You're 68. Wow. That's amazing. You look great. And you've been practicing for 30 years.
I've been practicing for 30 years. I'm also practicing immortal. So this is my last embodiment.
Okay, so I actually want to get there because I heard you say that before, and I want to know more about that because I read that in the Vander Kroon book when Shiva was talking to Parvati about it. And like,
the Damar Tantra.
yeah, what does it mean? Like, what does that mean? Like, yes. I associate like vampires, they're immortal. Like, why would you want to be a vampire?
Well, they gave us a hint in the Genesis in the Bible. They talked about people living 10,000 years, 9,000 years, 900 years, 800 years. You know, remember that story? So-and-so begot so-and-so, and he lived 1,000 years. And so-and-so. There were immortals on this planet before they rewrote history. There was a world called Tartaria before the 1800s where they built all these incredible buildings with technology from the future. But then after the World's Fair in the 1920s, they demolished so we wouldn't know that. They've changed history. Right. There have been giants on this planet. There have been extraterrestrials. Immortals have always been here, but since it's off the agreed upon reality, I mean, they could be walking around talking to you on a interview call and you wouldn't know it. But you see, the basis of the philosophy of physical mortality is simply that your life urges are stronger than your death urges. And when you increase your life urges and you weaken your death urges, you have incredible reservoirs of aliveness and youth. You see, according to Leonard Orr, who was my mentor, and he wrote about it in The Secrets of Youthing.
Okay.
This book is on my Amazon page. The Secrets of Youthing. There is a thing called a death urge. The death urge is any self-destructive behavior or thoughts, self-hatred, self-rejection. When people are miserable, they wouldn't consider living forever because they think they will suffer forever. Yeah. And so if you decide that you're miserable, and it is a choice, if you decide you're miserable, then you're not going to be doing things that produce positive results and increase your life. Now, if you decide to die on planet Earth, dying is socially acceptable. Living immortal hadn't caught on yet.
Right? That's why I'm like having this cognitive dissonance about it. I'm like,
right.
The
now,
programming.
If Leonard Orr was alive today, he would tell you the reason everything's going down the way it has for the last 2 years is not genocide. It's the purging of mortals.
Wow.
It's the purging of people who don't want to be here, who unconsciously want to ascend and go to a higher place instead of staying here where the work is and staying present with everybody.
Interesting.
Take a breath.
Oh, it was coming anyway.
I could feel it.
Yeah, right. Oh, I know when you're connected, like you know that stuff, right? You have this inner knowing, you feel things. It's so amazing what we are capable of. And this practice is just like, it really pushes you to your limits and your boundaries of what you ever even thought you were capable of. Yep. I never, ever thought I'd be sitting here today, like having a glass of Urine with you. Hey, tell everybody what Urine is. Let's lighten that up quick.
Okay. Let me tell you how the wisdom and the knowledge of Urine therapy was hijacked and who did it.
Yeah.
Prior to 1917, urine therapy, Shivambhu, was practiced in the United States, mostly by the indigenous cultures. Okay, and all around the world, in 50 known countries, people have been practicing urine therapy. They practice it in Greece, and they practice it in Italy, and they practice it in India and in Israel, all over the place. And we've got feelers on all these people. Well, it just so happened in 1917, this family established what was called the Rockefeller Foundation. And these lovely folks decided that they were the ones who were going to control the health industry worldwide. And it wasn't too long after that they decided to start to take down alternative health practices and go after them. They figured urine drinking wasn't going to ever come up. So they let it stand, but they started coming up with the word urine, and they started potty training kids, which has screwed up most of us.
Yep.
Because we were told to wash our hands because it's dirty.
Yeah.
And so it's been just beneath the surface of people knowing it exists until social media showed up. Thanks to social media, there's about 20 groups on Facebook, 3 or 4 that I know of on Instagram. There's 4 or 5 on Telegram. There's more voices like yourself and Amanda and Kate Stillman and Dr. Group, Doc Mike Whittord, that are getting more and more audience and more outspoken.
Yeah.
So this is our tipping point. We're in the middle of it right now.
So fun.
Woohoo! It's
Okay, but the word Orin.
The word Orin came to us, and you're going to love its connection to a super Marvel Comics hero by the name of Aquaman. You guys don't know this. It was Andrew Norton Webber that told us that urine is a disgusting medical term that nobody likes to even say it, much less associate with it. So he says, a more softer, a more nurturing, a more loving, kind word is Orin. And so people started, embracing it and playing with it. He said, oh, by the way, if you go to Wikipedia and you type in Aquaman, you guys know who Aquaman is, right?
Yeah.
He's like the god of the sea, the ocean, right? And if you go further into the content in Wikipedia, it says that Aquaman's real name is Orin.
It's so awesome.
It's so awesome. Andrew Norton Webber caught that.
Oh, he's such a cool dude. I wish he would resurface.
Yes, and I'm glad you put it that way because many people feel that he's still alive, he's still on planet. But because they had threatened him, he decided to disappear. And I got a feeling he's writing under a fake name. If you see some content goes, that sounds like him.
Okay. That's awesome. Okay. So Tara is asking, sometimes if there's sediment, does that need to be filtered?
Sediment. If you hold your jar up and you can see the bottom of it, well, you're not holding the jar. I'd have to.
Well, I have a fresh glass. I think. Are you drinking Evolved?
This is 24 hours.
24 hours. Okay.
Okay, so the stuff on the bottom.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's floating. Right? It's not a kombucha mushroom starter, so don't think about that. Everything on the bottom is concentrated stem cells. There's some white cells. There's antibodies. This is your nutrition, but it's been condensed so much it's turned white. And if you let it sit out long enough in the sun, you can create white Ormus gold.
That's awesome.
That's Ormus gold. This is what Saint Germain the alchemist used to convert base metal into gold. But it's in our water.
Is it anywhere else besides our water?
Good question. I'm not an alchemist.
Okay.
But I'm sure these viewers might know where to look.
Okay. All right. So as far as protocol then it goes with the sediment, I've heard you say you can snort it, you can reconstitute it and sprinkle it in other food and water or back in your water.
Wasn't Tara's real question about
filtering?
Filtering and or stirring it.
She said filter.
You don't have to filter, just stir it all up. Filtration is basically from a negative association that there might be a contamination in their water. But if you remember, it alchemizes everything. So whatever in there, it's antiseptic, antibacterial, antifungal, anti-candida, anti-cancerous, you name it, except for life. And so drink it.
Okay.
The only time I would filter Orin is after you're doing one of my favorite protocols. You know what I'm going to say, right?
Probably enema. Oh, foot bath. Okay.
All right. The reason you would strain it after a foot bath because, guys, you walk barefoot, you
Yeah.
step on poop, you got mud between your toes, you got lint from your socks, whatever is not supposed to be in there. Strain it out and then use it for either another foot soak or another topical protocol. Or the last thing you want to do is put it in your plants and in the grass.
Right. How many
But
times can you reuse it for a foot bath?
as often as you want.
Okay.
It doesn't go bad. Oh, by the way, here's a little suggestion from some of the viewers. They said when they put straight Urine in their house plants, they died because the nitrogen and potassium level was too high. So everybody's starting to dilute it when they put it in their house plants.
Okay. Because it's too much for the plant. It's like,
Yeah,
ah, because it's
yeah.
so potent. I mean,
It,
what is that saying right there, right? That's
well,
so
what
crazy.
does it say when dogs pee on the grass and the grass
Yeah.
dies?
Oh my God. Oh, you're so good.
Follow your dog.
Seriously. Okay, so what should we do then with the dog? Because we actually have that issue.
Oh, well, good luck. You're not going to follow him around and hose down where he pees.
I know.
That's a lot of micromanaging.
Yeah, don't do that. Ask my kids. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm not into that.
no, they're like a dogma-free mom.
Yeah. My motto is like, I don't know. Like, how would I know? Like, go figure it out.
Yeah, what would you do?
Yeah, right. It's pretty interesting what kids are ask you these days.
And what they
Not going to
tell you.
go there in this interview. Okay, sometimes sediment be filtered. Da, da, da. I imagine you can put it in veggie capsules if one isn't drinking it yet.
You could put it in veggie capsules, but it won't be a capsule-shaped capsule very long. It's liquid.
Oh, maybe was she asking if that was the Ormus though?
Oh, the Ormus? You mean now the simple way to make this is get a Pyrex baking pan or something really flat and narrow, like about an eighth of an inch, a half an inch. And just
Okay.
leave it in a windowsill in the sun or outside until it dries.
Okay. And then
Scrape
sprinkle.
scrape it out and then use it.
Okay. So let's just go to the mushroom question. You can grow a human mushroom like a SCOBY, right? From evolving urine after it's like a year, or like how long does it take
To what?
to grow the mushroom? Or is that not?
I don't have any, and I have some that are 3 and 4 years old. I think
And
it varies from person to person and may be
oh,
diet related.
really? So you've never grown one?
Well, I'm not intentionally growing scobies, but if it shows up, I just stir it up.
Okay. Okay, because I mean, we're in the Dr. Shivambhu channel and people talk about that, right? So you think it's more like what's your constitution and what are you growing?
Well, yeah. Now, what comes out of the body is not just physical water and poop. There's more than that. I mean, there's energy, there's emotions that come in the vibration of the water.
Right.
And the people who meditate and drink their urine, totally different people. By the way, I got this friend from Jamaica, and he gave me a gallon of it at the retreat in California.
Oh my
I was so touched by that. He gave me a gallon of Jamaican.
God.
He was
Wow.
100% Jamaican. I mean, he's from Jamaica. And I said, brother, I am so honored to have your urine. Does it have your THC in it? He says, oh yeah, there's a little DMT in there too, so have at it.
So, I mean, my obvious question is, if you ingest it, then you get euphoric feeling from it. You get a dopamine hit, or what?
I think he was messing with my head, but I don't know. It was very delightful to think about. I don't have to smoke pot. I just drink the Jamaicans pee on. This is great.
Well, it's like the reindeer thing with the Amarita mushroom thing, right? Like they give it to the reindeer, those of you who don't know it. And then the reindeer pees, and it's kidneys, the reindeer's kidneys filter out all the harmful stuff, and then the humans collect it, and then they get a clearer hallucination from it. Maybe is that a more pure?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's where like
very
Santa
true.
Claus and the flying reindeer come from, or one aspect of that maybe.
All of the reindeer. Yep.
Okay, so it'd be good for a bug bite.
It would be great for anything on your skin. One of my favorite things is sunburn. I like to go
Oh,
to
yeah.
these hot springs where it's clothing optional.
Yep.
And you can get full out sun on full out everything.
Yep.
And I'd go out with my friends who've been going to this hot springs for 35 years, and they're slathering on SPF 37, thinking they're doing the right thing. 2 hours later, they're still ouching and screaming, and I'm smiling because the sting goes away in 10 minutes, and by the end of the day, you got a rich tan.
Wow. Yeah, I've done it too. And if I've stayed out in the sun too long, by literally 2 applications, there is no sting. There's no, like it doesn't even, it's not even a thing. Yeah.
So, bug bite, hornet sting. If a hornet stings you, a wasp stings you, you get it on immediately. It doesn't cause the skin to start turn purple in different colors. The
Mm-hmm.
stinger pops out if there is a stinger. Some people, like Andrew Norton Weber, was had an allergy to wasp stings, and he
Yeah.
would swell up, and he thought he was going to die. And someone says, "You got to drink your urine." All I did was put a little in his mouth and under his tongue, and the shock went away. And he didn't even have to do injections.
Wow.
Which, by the way, is in the protocol list. People don't talk about it much. But if
Mm-hmm.
someone goes into shock and someone has a heart attack or falls down and you happen to have a hypodermic needle and some urine, boom, boom, get it in the bloodstream, they'll come back to life.
Holy buckets. I have not heard that.
Yeah, it's in the manual. It's also in the handbook.
It's in your manual? I don't remember reading that. Oh, it's
Uh,
not in this.
it should be in there.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, I'm on this.
Also the belly button soak.
Okay, so I do that all the time. That's part of my morning protocol and evening protocol. And then I also read that if you put evolving Urine on the navel in the belly button, it relieves chapped lips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
What?
all you
That's
need
so,
is one of these.
that's so weird. It's a cotton ball.
The things you want to keep in your Shivambhu toolkit.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to relieve you guys of fear about running out of food on the planet. I know a lot of people going, "Oh, having a food shortage, and they're blowing up our food factories, and the truckers can't get work, and they're taking back their diesel, and blah blah blah." I'm going, listen, guys, let's make it really simple. If you can cup your hands and pee, you can thrive on planet Earth. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can dispel your mind of any kind of fear about, oh, we're going to make it. You'll never be in survival mode if you get this part.
Right.
So
And
those
show us your little collapsible cup. That's really cool. Do you have that?
oh, you're so easy.
I
All right.
just think that's such a neat idea, especially for women, right? Like maybe a little easier for you guys to walk around with your hand.
We can talk about the women funnel here.
Yeah,
But
perfect.
this little puppy comes from a company called Hideaway.
Okay.
And I asked them several times, can you just put this on your cup? Can you just put this on the top?
It's nice.
And if you'll do that, I'll build you a huge market, and we'll get it out to everybody in the water family. Just send me a commission and drop ship, and
Yeah.
they can see the vision.
They don't see it? What the heck?
So this is how that works. You unscrew the top. There's two versions. There's one
Okay.
that's 23 ounces. This one is
Oh.
17 ounces.
Okay.
All right.
It's very
And
specific.
Yeah, it's going to come with a, hold on a second. It's going to come with a drinking spout.
No way.
The bigger one doesn't. So here's how this works. You take this off. You push the bottom down. This is so cool. You pull the top out. You put the top on. You got yourself a water cup.
That is amazing.
And
Okay.
as a gal, can you make it in that opening?
I mean, I could.
Yes. Well, you've been at this for a year. You got
Yeah.
the camera now.
Yeah.
So
It's definitely a practice.
this is so neat because when you're going through the library and people don't know what's in your container, or if you're at you're out in the public going, I feel like a secret agent. Nobody knows I got urine in my cup. So that's the disposable guy.
Tell us the name of that again. I'm going to put it in the chat.
Hydaway. Hideaway.
HY.
Hideaway. They sell it at Amazon. Or you go to Hideaway. And they have sales all the time, so you could get it for like $20 or whatever.
Okay. Okay. So I'm really appreciative that you addressed that. Actually, I signed up for this. It's a 3-day intensive. It's like 12 hours of leadership training, and I start Monday. And one of the gals that was like kind of doing my intake call, she's like, "Hey, we all have our evening meal together the first night, blah blah." And I'm very particular about what time of day. I never eat after dark. Like there's just I do have some guidelines of when I ingest
Discipline,
food.
girl. That's called
Yeah.
discipline. Yeah.
Well, and it's just like that's a non-negotiable for me. Like I don't care. And then she's like, well, a lot of people get like really anxious about, like you have to plan your meals. She's like, so plan ahead. And I said to her, I go, well, I practice urine therapy, so I don't really have that issue. I'm like, I actually don't eat that much as I used to either. And
You're
I don't
not
need to.
obsessive with food like a lot of people.
Yeah. I'm just like, you know what? Like, I don't know. Like it doesn't, I like food. I think it's beautiful and I bless it. And, we eat really good food. But to be honest, I used to have this magnetism to my friend's distilled water. She would put it through a Berkey, distill it, and then put it through a Wu Wei. And that's what we do with our water too. And my body, Brother Sage was
I get called that, by the way.
that was a weird Freudian slip, maybe. My body was just like magnetized to it. And I was like, Sherry, can I have some more of your water? I would like go to her house and we'd sauna together. And I'd be like, I want some of your water. That was a different meaning now.
Yeah.
but I wanted her actual distilled water. And so my husband got all the machines. We make our own. We do the same thing. I actually like my own water better than that water. I'm like, I don't need all that stuff. It just
No,
seems
you
like
don't.
extra. Yeah, it's just extra.
You don't. And you don't really need nutritional supplements when you finally make that jump.
That's the other thing. I don't take any supplements anymore. It's so interesting.
What's fun is to go through a health food store and look at the museum of old
Yeah.
supplements. It's like this is archives. These are like
Oh,
dinosaurs.
yeah. Okay. Well, we have a question about that. So Michael Hood is wondering, why would the body eliminate nutrients rather than make use of them the first time around?
Okay, the term is eliminate. That
Okay.
was the word he used.
Mm-hmm.
It could be delivering for you. It's all a perspective on how we are going to approach this.
Hmm.
And what it's doing is filtering the blood. So let's get really clear. It's blood plasma that comes from the liver, which got it from the bone marrow. It's filtering it through this sophisticated system called the nephron system. Nephron. It's not an alien race. These are the nephrons. All right. So it's going to go into the urethra, and I got to give you the metaphysical definition of urethra.
Okay.
And it blends it together from the information it gets from your blood that's designed to produce the cure or the medicine for what your body's challenged with at the moment.
Okay.
It's not an organ of elimination. So I know when people say it eliminates this,
Mm-hmm.
it's producing it for you. It just happens to this is an interesting point here.
Mm-hmm.
People say, well, it's a urine, isn't it a disgusting product, a byproduct of the body? I said, so why would God, the creator, put the organs of creation and the ability to produce birth and new life in the same pelvic area and then put a waste product there?
Yeah.
So everything that comes out of your groin, whether it's menstrual blood or whether it's urine or whether it's sperm and semen, is
Mm.
medicine for you.
Mm. Interesting. That's a really interesting way to put that, because I mean we don't think about it like that, right? And then you just go to amniotic fluid and what we're grown in for 9 months. On top of that, it's like, yeah, it can't be, right? It can't be an elimination of that.
No, it can't be. And why is it that babies who spend time floating in pee, everybody says it's sterile environment? They're amniotic fluid, they're drinking it, they're sniffing it, they're massaging it, they're rolling it, their fetus is growing, they're about to be, brought
Yeah,
out into this other world. And how come when they're outside the womb that urine is dirty?
right.
I never got that part.
Yeah.
It's the
So
same with the people who go inside Target and they wear a mask, and they walk out of Target and they take off their mask and go out. So the virus knows. It waits for you. I don't.
it's
It's
really
lurking.
smart. Okay, so another question. I am now wondering whether stool would be considered alchemy being delivered. Like, come on.
He wants to know if stool is medicine.
Yeah.
People do fecal implant therapy on this planet.
Oh
I
yeah.
was not drawn to it. But in case you guys don't know what bifidus is in the probiotics list of probiotics, you've heard of acidophilus. Well, bifidus is baby poop, is culture
Oh,
from baby poop.
huh.
So when you're taking probiotics at the store, you may want to know that.
What?
Yeah, look it up.
No way.
It's also known as baby bifidus.
Why
There's a
don't
lot
we?
of dirty secrets in the health food industry they don't tell you about.
Seriously, that is not okay.
By the way, you guys who still think the term natural flavors is safe,
Yeah, yeah.
it's made in the same laboratory of artificial flavors, but it's a buzzword in the health industry, so they put it on all kinds of. And I was watching the superfood companies doing great, and then all of a sudden, natural flavors showed up on the label. I'm going, we're done. Sorry, can't
Nice.
follow you.
Yep. Okay, somebody wants to know, Brother Sage, explain Ormus. We already kind of covered that though,
We kind
didn't
of
we?
covered it. It was
Yeah.
to
Okay.
transform metals into gold, and it's another way of transforming the human being into a superhuman or a god.
Okay. Mine tastes salty. Is that normal? It's not
Um,
me. That's a question.
I got that. You're reading. It's normal for people who have salt in their diet. And a
Okay.
lot of people have things in their diet, but they don't know it's in there because it's man made. I
Mm,
mean, they hide sugar and salt in everything.
yeah. Right. So I take it you do not add salt to your diet.
No, but every now and then I put my finger on the sea salt or Himalayan salt, just go, oh, oh, that's kind of neat. It's almost like cow lick. Every now and then I just lick some just to get the taste of it, but I don't make it a habit.
Okay. So it's kind of like, I mean, same intuition, right? Like if you feel like, oh, I need just a little
No
salt, I'm
salt.
gonna go, yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
a little anything.
Um, so okay, let me,
So here's something to know here, guys.
yeah.
People say, can I do Orin therapy while I'm on prescribed drugs,
Oh yeah. Thank you.
while I'm doing recreational drugs,
Hmm.
or while I'm taking my favorite addictive substance? There's a whole list of those.
Hmm.
And the answer is it's intuitive, it is food, but just to ease the mind of the person who asks them that questions, I always teach people taking an hour on either side of the prescription drug or whatever it is, so your body doesn't interpret it as an attack.
Ah,
And
brilliant.
try to go for it. And and what's happening at the same time, and this is where people have been breaking addictions, and I'm so thrilled to
Mm-hmm.
hear this. The brain chemistry changes.
Mm-hmm.
The craving for the addictive substance changes. The self-hatred changes. People start making more positive, mindful choices.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. Segue into the self-love about it, because I think that is literally at the core of what this entire practice like is.
Yeah. Drinking your water is loving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Putting back in your body the gift that your body gave you is a loving act. You're not having to look outside for anything or anyone or anything to love you because you came as love and you are in the presence of love all the time. Doing urine therapy starts to bring in more harmony in yourself and in your relationships. If you look at anybody you meet in the water family, in the community, it's immediate recognition and love. I'm in love with hundreds of thousands of people, and many I'm starting to meet in person.
Nice.
And this feels, for a lot of people, their spiritual community, their family.
Yeah. Beautiful.
About the love, baby.
Well, I think too, like you don't think about that, but your first reaction when you hear it, like mine was gross, right? And then I hear other people say, well, the way they describe it, there's somebody on Instagram that described it like this hot liquid, and it was actually kind of poetic. I was like, wow.
Neat.
And then, but it was all about disgust. And
Mhm.
then now that I know like what I know, I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, that's actually a projection and of what you think about yourself. Or like, what are you putting in your body that's what you're going to be drinking, right? Or would be drinking.
Yeah.
And that realization when you bring that up to somebody who is having cognitive dissonance or is new to the whole concept, it just switches instantly, I've noticed. And they have like this, epiphany almost, and they just go, wait, what? And they just like lean in a little bit more, right? Because it's an attack on the ego, right. For one. And then you're like, well, that's how you feel about yourself. And it's like, oh my God. And then we start remembering, right? And that's
sure.
So
Now, what we did when we started this podcast today, guys, are we calling it a podcast or a show?
Sure. It's podcast. Yeah.
It's podcast. Notice, and more people do this every day, is they look at the water, they talk to the water, they thank the water, they appreciate the water, even before they take the drink. They're giving praise to this creative juice that's going to turn your life, your health, and your freedom around.
Absolutely. And even the thoughts you have when you're making your water, right? I think it's equally as important when you're making your water, you're talking to it, and then you're drinking it, all of it, because it's just this continual, torus field, right? Of self-love. And why not put back in all the blessings and all the beauty of what you are and what you truly are, right? This is your real self.
Yeah. And it always feels good to pee.
Yeah, it totally does.
God, it feels good. Even if you're not into urine therapy, it feels good. Yeah.
Right? Oh, that's such a good.
Why would the Creator give us that joy? That was lovely.
Right. It's like euphoria. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm going to check the.
All right, we're going to move from piss bliss to the next thing.
Yeah, right. I'm just going to check the chat one more time before. I think that's it for questions. And then the Golden Girls were wondering about the Ormus, and we covered that. Is there anything else that you want to share in your wisdom?
The future.
The future. Oh, yes, the future. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, guys, get your DeLorean out. We're going out with Doc. We're going back to the future.
Right on.
This vision came to me when I wrote the first book, Healing Water from Within.
Okay.
It's in this book. It's also in the manual. In the future, when everything is brought back to people's understanding, urine therapy is more commonplace, you'll find colon therapists that are using not necessarily gender specific, but urine inside the equipment that goes to the tube, that goes in the rectum, and clean out people's intestines with colonics with urine.
Nice.
There'll be a time you'll be able to go to a sauna and take a jar of urine, and when you're in the wet sauna, pour it all over you and steam. Or maybe they'll put it in the jet so it's steaming urine at you.
That's awesome.
There may be a time when, since our body produces its own natural antibody, natural immunity, guys, just in case you forgot, there'll be a time where pharmacies and doctors and hospitals will have a hard time in staying in business.
Yeah.
We might end up losing funeral homes, insurance companies. I mean, a whole lot of things are going to change in our structure when people no longer have to rely on those systems.
Right.
And you can feel how weak they are right now.
Absolutely.
So the future is bright. I've been the beginning of a world tour that came to me 4 years ago. I'm still holding that vision, is produce a documentary to take Stephen Williams' work, the Urine Aid, to the next level, where we go around the world. And now I've done a retreat in California, and the next one's in Oregon. So we document everything, testimonials, stories, processes, and build communities offline where people can support each other and bring in new people. And the tour will eventually go international once they take the restrictions off the airports.
Nice. Perfect.
So
I didn't know you were working on a documentary.
Oh, there's a lot of things you don't know about me.
Yay, that's so exciting. I mean, my husband and I watched Urine Aid, and we were kind of like, yeah, it was okay. I think the cow running after the cow urine was the funniest part. I mean, any message about getting the word out, right, is good, but I think that there's a lot to be improved. And
yes, and what I'm telling everybody in our team, the staff who's putting together retreats, and I want to tell this to your viewers right now.
Yeah.
the time is not to be shy with this information. The time is not to hold back and be reserved and be concerned about people criticizing you or feeling rejected. Look at tomorrow starting to think of it's her. No, the
Oh, hell
time
no.
is now to get this word out of the urine therapy social media groups and
Yeah.
start introducing it to the spiritual groups, the naturopathic groups, the Ayurvedic groups.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been introducing to the breatharian community and the fasting community and the fruitarian community. They're receptive.
Yeah.
So, guys, get out of your comfort zone and start talking it up. If you want to do it in person, I have a video on my YouTube channel where I got a permit from the city to go down to a popular tourist area where there's a lot of foot traffic. It was called Pearl Street Mall. So I got a permit. I put up a sign that said, a banner, got a huge banner, and I'm loaning it out to people who want to do the same thing. I had 3 of my students showed up. One was filming, and in 4 hours we had 35 guests.
Get out of here.
Only 2 hecklers.
So good.
So that speaks highly about the interest.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, there's so many people interested. There's people that I wouldn't have thought in 100 million years that would be interested. And they're like, tell me more. I'm like, really? Because this is so exciting. I can't wait to tell you more. And I get so excited to share it.
Yes, yes. And they're looking at you radiating. I
Yeah.
mean, you're a radiant soul. People go, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
I drink my pee, doesn't everybody?
Right.
Yeah.
I actually had some lady, one friend of mine was like, can I buy it from you? And I was like, and this is before I met you. I didn't even know you could cross, right? I had no idea. I mean, I knew you could probably, we were both women, but if I would have known then what I know now, right? I would have been like, no, just like take some, go.
Yeah, and that's interesting because some people are saying this stuff is so powerful, they would pay $1,000 for 16 ounces or 32 ounces of it.
Right. Wow.
I'm not monetizing mine
No.
yet. I don't know.
Well, I think it's, it's interesting. And I actually just took another brazen step for my own journey, my own path. And I had some of Thaddeus's. And I was like, I want to know what you taste like. And that actually, I mean, this is the first time I think I've spoken about that publicly, but even, speaking about any of this is such a taboo subject. I love that. And I love anything daring and, grandiose bold, like that. Yeah. Yes. Bold. Yeah.
And did he try yours?
He did not. He's not ready. And he said, when I'm ready, I will. And I was like, I respect that. Because he's very intuitive. And
is he watching this right now?
He is, definitely.
That is, I love you, and your wife's going to share her water with me. That's more fun than pen pals. Or pee pals.
For pee pals. Oh, I love that. But it was really interesting. And it was later in the day, so it wasn't so strong, like maybe in the morning. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I didn't even have another thought about it though. Like, how like it's been too long for you maybe to like, because 30 years is a long time, right? But I'm only a year in BrotherSage. And so I remember like tasting my own first time and my own first drink. And now I'm tasting my husband's first, drink. And it's just like, mind, like mind has to wrap around all this stuff. And how do you feel about it? I'm a, very emotional female. And I was like, this is really cool. Like that was my thought.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's transformed you.
Yeah. Yeah. And now I have the immunity of 2 people.
At least 2 people. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know where this is going to go. Right. This is so interesting and edgy. And
yes, people, there is some sexual overtones when we talk about giving each other the golden shower. I know people in the community are doing it and they feel like it's a sacred act. It's like,
wow,
really? It's like golden shower tantra. And it's all how you interpret it.
Yeah. Well, and I think most people like think about that and it's like some dirty act, right? And I was actually wondering about that the other day. I was like, I wonder where that came into practice and how, and was it meant to like kind of make it look more dirty, right? Was there a psyop around it, or can you make it a spiritual act? Like I'm interested in that. That's interesting.
You can, and since sex is wholesome and holy,
Yeah.
only people, like when you're peeing on your partner, if you get turned on, it's only your mind that's going to feel, oh, this is wrong, this is guilty.
Right.
No, it's part of fun and pleasure. We tend to omit that in our life, is
Yeah.
pleasure.
Right. Yeah.
So
We hold on to so much suffering, so much stress, so much worry. Like, why? Let's flip that. Let's go to the other side of that. I love that.
by us bringing it up, we might have just started a new movement. We are always going to avalanche on us.
Oh my God.
They're going to cut out that one part of the whole movie, the whole
Yeah.
show. Oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
it. Do a little reel on Instagram.
Oh my God. My husband's out back going, oh my God, what is she talking about? Yeah, he probably thinks
It's all in good fun.
yeah, interesting. So, okay, let me check the chat one more time. And okay, it looks like we are,
Yeah.
is there an uh,
Is there?
is there an archaeological or otherwise documented evidence of ancestral people consuming urine?
Yeah. It's in my first book, Healing Water from Within.
Okay.
It's also in the Golden Fountain book. They
Yeah.
go all the way back to Rome. They go back to Greece, back to the 1400s, 1500s, 1600s. Yeah, there's documents everywhere.
I mean, it used to be collected and taxed and used, and people
Clean their clothes with it.
I was to say for laundry detergent, right? Or laundry. Yeah.
Right. And a lot of people know this by now is that the porta potties, up until about 30 years ago, didn't have a separate urinal for the guys. It was just a seat.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now they have a second standing area for guys, and some women are good aims. They stand there, but if you listen to where the poop goes in the big part of the toilet,
Yeah.
you can't hear it going in there because they funnel it off so they can get the urea out of it and put it in the cosmetic industry.
Right. And they use that for is it urokinase? Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Urokinase or urine kinase. Yes.
Urokinase.
One of the
Okay.
ingredients.
Right. And what do they use the urokinase for? Again, is that for a heart medication?
Good question. It's not in my field.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But the cosmetics, so many people don't know that most cosmetics are made with urea, and like what source is it from? Like a men's urinal? So
and
gross.
That and pregnant mares.
Oh, right. That's the pregneline.
Premarin. Now, here's a real obvious clue to some people, and I'm going to tell you how they hide it in all the products. Just a minute here. Take the word murine. Remember the eye drops called murine?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen them on the market in a while, but take the M and divide it from the rest of the word, and it has urine in it.
Yeah.
Murine. So yeah, these things are around here, but they're either using synthetic urea, or they hide it under the word carbamide, carbon, carbamide, and it's a scientific word for urea.
Oh,
This is how they can get past the public because you don't know what's in there.
That's awfully sneaky. So protocol for anybody who wants to start with some skincare, right? Like, do you want to share?
Well, simple skincare is washcloth. You can use a washcloth. You can use your hand. You can use cotton balls, cotton pads. The whole idea is to get it on your body, enough of it so it soaks in. For you guys who are having challenges with memory or are imbalances, massaging your scalp does wonders. For balding, for gray hair. I mean, you know how many 68-year-olds that have dark hair?
It's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, these are some of the protocols for the skin. Anybody who has eczema or any kind of skin tags or liver spots or anything the exterior of the body that doesn't look right, put it on there. Do a compress, do a massage, leave it on as long as you can.
Do you suggest that people begin then with fresh and then move towards evolved? Does that kind of seems like the natural progression?
Yeah. and,
Okay.
and it makes more sense because it's made fresh right in front of them.
Right. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
would say work up to it. Now I teach baby steps, and what I mean by that is this is mostly for the newbies. They're sitting on the fence. They're not sure if you're in a cult or you're
Mhm.
crazy. They're
Right.
not quite sure about tomorrow. They're not sure about it. So the first thing you want to do, you guys watching this, you have them collect their urine. Stick a finger, a pinky, whatever in there, right? Hold it up. Notice you didn't get sick or die. That's step one. Step
Yeah.
two, put your finger back in the urine, lift it up, lick it. That's step two. Step number three, and I want to tell you what's in here. Oh, I haven't explained urethra.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's
Okay,
okay.
step number three is a whole dropper full. This is my 3-year-old.
Okay.
You want to get a whole dropper full. That's step number three, and do 1 drop, 2 drops, and start adding more till you get to a whole dropper full. Oh, I just dropped aged urine on my.
Wait,
Hold
are you
on.
so are you saying the dropper under the tongue or on in your scalp
Just
or
get it in your mouth. I'm talking about newbies.
okay. Okay.
You're just getting started. You want to start with a dropper full, several dropper fulls. You want to get them to move up to an ounce. When they get up to 3 ounces, you can cut them loose.
Yeah.
They figured it out.
Right. Definitely.
So let's jump on urethra.
Yeah. We'll end with that. Okay.
I'm sure they can take that all kinds of different ways. He wants to jump on her urethra. Okay, take the word ureathra. We're going to take the word apart.
Okay.
You are. The first part is you are. The second part is wreath, as in WREATH, but it's REATH.
Okay.
And the last word is RA. Let's explain, and then I'm going to take it apart and put it back together.
Okay.
You are indicates the person we're describing, which is you. All right. Wreath means to adore, to honor, or to hold sacred. And Ra was the sun god of the Egyptians. So you put them all together, it means you are adored by the divine. You are the adoration of God.
Oh my God.
They didn't teach that in biology class.
Yeah, they missed that one. That is beautiful. Thank you so much. When did you get that download?
4 years ago.
Really? All right. Do you learn something every day from it? Like, does it teach you something every day?
Either eat teaches me, or it sends me people in the water family who teach me things.
Sure. And we're up. How many protocols are you up to? I know you're doing some kind of count. 22.
My last, the last count. Now there's 2 more that just showed up. The last count was 24.
Oh, okay.
And then one of my students came up with. She calls it the butt bath, or
yeah.
right? Instead of one of these, she'd go to the hardware store and found it a round one. Hers was red, but you can get it any color. And she says, if it's the right size, you just sit your butt in there, and you're gonna heal your pelvis issues and your reproductive organs and your rectum. And she says it's a butt bath.
Wow, that is crazy.
So yeah, and there's new ones coming up all the time. I don't hear about them, but what I love is that the folks in this community have such incredible creative minds.
Yeah, right. Okay, I actually have a one last question. I know we've been saying like this is the last one, this is the last one. So I took some the other day and I just let it sit in the sun, and I was charging it with the sun. What do you think like happens in that time period? It charges it. Okay,
Yeah,
but like for
vibration.
people who like don't really know what that means, like what does that mean?
Yeah. If you can measure the megahertz or the frequency of things, you can see the change in it. Like if you're familiar with essential oils, they start down in the low hundreds and then they go up to 450 megahertz, which is rose, which is the highest frequency of essential oils, which they say is the frequency of Mother Mary. So you could measure that sun, how the sun affects or impacts the vibration of the water. If you had kind of an OPR meter or whatever those meters are.
Okay.
It's
Perfect.
measurable.
Do you have a certain ritual that you do with the sun when charging any evolved, fresh, just whenever it feels right?
Yeah, I change it up. Sometimes I leave it in the window. Sometimes I leave it outside. Oh, by the way, if you guys get in the habit of leaving 1 or 2 jars in your car becomes your your portable pharmacy and your sauna.
Yeah,
Because I'll go out somewhere where there's nobody around, open up the door, go outside. If I'm wearing shorts, I'll just take a bath and put it all over me. And it's nice to keep it back,
yeah,
your supply with you wherever you go.
right. Well, and I mean, honestly, like Amanda Vollmer's story, her daughter got stung by a bee and she had it right, she trusted her daughter trusted her enough to pee in her hand, which
Yeah,
says a lot, I think,
yeah,
about her being a mother.
yeah.
And she said she had been talking, about it before that happened. And then within 15 seconds, she says the anti-venom is in your fresh urine. And so she put it under her tongue. These are the receptors, right? The
Uh-huh.
information receptors. And she didn't go into anaphylactic shock.
And what
So, yeah. So everywhere you go, you have your own anti-venom, which is so,
anywhere you go, you're protected from so-called germs. We know it's a theory. So-called germs and viruses. I would say you're also protected from bad vibes and negative people. And when you really embrace immortality, by the way, and you practice Shivambhu, you feel bulletproof.
yeah. Oh, man. I just had to take a nice deep breath on that.
God, I love
Okay.
it.
Well, do you feel like that we're complete?
Yeah, except we got to give a cyber hug to the viewers.
Yeah.
At
Well,
least one of these.
right. And so, like, anybody having cognitive dissonance, and like, if we blew your mind, Brother Sage was like, we went from 0 to like 100 really fast. We're giving you a big hug. It's okay. We're, like, nothing happens to us. And he's been practicing for 30 years, and I've been practicing for a year. Thaddeus has been practicing for a year. And I tell you what, the thing that just keeps unfolding is the intuition. I know things. I keep learning more. I keep just understanding myself better, loving myself more, loving others more, bringing more light. Like, that's what's unfolding. And I keep having these body healings. And Brother Sage, I did read this too, that it works on different levels at different times. So I think it says it starts with like your most recent thing that is ailing you, that you're in disharmony with, right? Dis-ease. And then it works backwards. I just had my second like level of healing with my neck issue that I knew it was the enemas. I know it is. And then I heard you talk about like so many people are misdiagnosed with constipation and lower back pain. And
Lower
then they
back
do
pain.
an enema and they're like, that doesn't hurt anymore.
Yeah, yep, they're amazed.
It's just unbelievable. And my husband has had like huge, like recovery from a skin rash he dealt with for 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it was gone in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got a housemate who's a student of mine, and his knees are hurting so bad. He was thinking of going to Mexico to get stem cell injections. I said, "You drink your urine. Why don't you just put it on your knees?"
Oh,
He did. 3 days later, his pain went away, and he didn't
wow.
tell me he was doing it. And now we share the bathroom, so I go in to take a bath, and he left his wine goblet of pee next to the bathtub. I'm going, "Good for you. Nice car."
Nice. Oh, yeah. I'm sure you get so many stories of people that have just had miraculous, upticks in their health and
I love
emotion.
the I
Go ahead.
love the testimonials. I love the people
Right.
who are coming out of the closet.
Yeah.
I'm so
And
glad I met tomorrow because I didn't know who to talk to about it. My wife, my husband, my kids thought I was nuts. Oh,
right.
I'm so glad there's people like you.
It's
That's what
it
the social media groups are for.
and it is. It's so helpful because you do feel like, oh my God, like, am I cuckoo here? Or what, right? Because that's
Yeah,
how we've been
don't
programmed.
cast your mind.
And it's just like letting go of programming and other things in your life will start unfolding. It's beyond it. I would say it's beyond metaphysical, right? It's so, like he said, it's not
It's not in a
medical.
category you can
It's not,
recognize.
yeah, it's not. It's just, it's so cool. Anyway, okay, well, let's wrap it up. Is there a final blessing you want to share or anything that,
Yes.
okay.
May the water bless you. May you bless other people. The presence that resonates in the water resonates in you. It's life, it's love, it's liberty, it's empowering. Take it to heart, treat it with the sacredness that it deserves, and you will also be treating yourself with that same sacredness and that same love. Blessings on your journey, my friends.
Oh, blessings to you too, Brother Sage. Thank you so much for coming on, for your time, your energy, your wisdom, sharing all that you are, all that you know with everybody. You are such a treasure. Thank you. All right.
You're perfect.
Thank you. All right, you guys. Good night. Thanks for joining. And I can get my mouse over here. That's a wrap.
It's the wrap. All right. You still recording?